Wait, remember Super Princess Peach? Well, what better time than now to do so? The new Super Mario Bros. Movie just hit theaters, and we see a Princess Peach there who leads the battle against Bowser. So why not look at the time Princess Peach had to lead her own journey through Vibe Island to rescue both Mario and Luigi from Bowser in a fun reverse take on the Mario series, with a unique way to play and control the powers of Princess Peach through the use of her emotions. This game is genuinely interesting as it seemingly came out of nowhere and disappeared from the conversation as the generations of handhelds would go on. But it deserves to be remembered. It deserves to be talked about, as I remember thoroughly enjoying this game when it originally came out, and I am excited to take a nostalgia-filled trip back to the Nintendo DS to see if Super Princess Peach is as great and good vibe-filled as I thought it was back 17 years ago. So we all know the basic Mario video game formula. Mario is just out doing some things, and then suddenly, thanks to Bowser and or his underlings, Princess Peach is kidnapped, and now you have to head down your multiple world journey to get to Bowser, face him in battle of some sort, and boom, you save the princess. But here, that gets flipped around for Super Princess Peach, where we learn of a new area called Vibe Island, where Bowser has found a nice new residence at because of a legendary hidden treasure to be found there. And once that treasure, this scepter, is found that can control others' emotions, Bowser sends in an attack against the Mushroom Kingdom, where he is able to capture a bunch of Toads, but also Mario and Luigi, leaving the only hero around is Princess Peach, who returns to her castle to see and learn about what had just happened. Peach is furious about this and decides to take matters into her own hands. No more damsel in distress, it's time for the Maiden of Madness to really get the job done. Before she leaves on this grand adventure, Peach is given a parasol from Toadsworth, but not any ordinary one that is sentient, and he's just been secretly hiding. I have several questions, but the name of this talking parasol is Perry, and he will be this useful ally for you on your journey forward. As you make your way through the 8 areas, La-Di-Da Plains, Who's Woods, Shriek Mansion, Fury Volcano, Way Beach, Gleam Glacier, Giddy Sky, and finally Bowser's Villa. You end up rescuing the Toads that were taken along with the Mario Brothers, and face down various enemies while completing platforming challenges, but you'll soon notice something is a bit off. Emotions are running wild to the power of the scepter being spilled out all through the island, causing not only enemies to have different emotions, but you as Peach will as well. But only you get to control them via the touchscreen on the DS, as you'll learn to master each of the 4: Joy, Rage, Gloom, and Calm, with all of them being able to be activated when you need them, as long as you have enough stored power in their individual gauges. Joy turns Peach extra happy, and you can float from your jumps when pressing A, which is useful to get to tougher and further away ledge jumps throughout the areas. Plus, this is how you can perform a tornado-like attack, and we get some nice, relaxing, happy music. Rage, bringing in this heavier music as you now get these flame-like abilities where you can light up certain key things, and jumping can turn into this aggressive stomp which will ripple nearby enemies. And to flip it to some waterworks, Gloom is a sob story as you get all sad. The vibes are just sad, but it's okay because the crying makes you run faster, and it can help you grow plant life for you to climb. That's so convenient. But it also can help for moving objects from other parts of the areas, and help make cold surfaces frozen for some slip and sliding. And to mellow yourself out, we got the best vibes all around, the Calm vibe. You restore your health, it's peaceful, and it's nice.
Use fire, wind, and water to save Mario and Luigi. Super Princess Peach, only on Nintendo DS.
If you've ever played a platformer before, or more specifically a Mario game, then you should instantly feel pretty at home here with Super Princess Peach. Aside from getting used to the emotion system and using them effectively, having to collect jewels to refill the meters, unless you want to use Perry, not the platypus, the parasol, who can absorb enemies to refill those gauges as well. In fact, Perry can do quite a bit here, acting as your main combat weapon to take out enemies. And if we're talking about a real emotional crutch here, in a game filled with emotions, that would be Perry. As we make our way through the game, taking out the bosses, you start unlocking these flashbacks for Perry that tell the story of a boy who has these magical abilities, and that would eventually be turned into his current form thanks to some magicians, and one day, our good pal Toadsworth came by and found this magical talking parasol named Perry. Yeah, is someone hitting the gloom button, or is it just me? But you along with Perry need to work together to find all of the Toads, which unlock the different boss fights you can make your your way through to the end of the game, which if you collect some coins along the way, they do have a real purpose of leveling up your emotional meters in the item shop, which, you know, I love real incentive to collect them. There's other stuff you can buy there as well. It's just great. It gives you a purpose to collect the coins. And by the end of the game, I was completely feeling a state of peaceful bliss. The game, hands down, is so relaxing. It has such a unique and comfortable charm that infectiously keeps you playing. I really enjoyed what this game had to offer. I only played through it once around the time that it came out, but revisiting it all these years later was truly a treat. The colors are so vibrant and the cutscene story moments are so fun and different for a Mario franchise game, and that the way that this game overall looks really helps separate it from anything else. And not only see the effects on the top screen for the gameplay aspect, but seeing Peach in the bottom screen directly responding to the emotion as well, it's charming. It's the little touches like that which make this game feel so lovingly polished and made. To finally go up against Bowser, you need to rescue every Toad from every level, so that's 3 Toads a level, with boss levels only having 1. And now you can truly go and rescue Mario. The minigames themselves are pretty cute and fun as well, which yes, there are minigames here, with Toad Toad, where you drag Toad around the touchscreen, get him past some obstacles before this timer runs out. There's Toad Shot, which is you hitting targets with the touchscreen before the timer runs out, and lastly, Toad Jump, which makes you blow into the Nintendo DS microphone to help Toad get to the end of this course in the time limit given. So as you can see, the minigames are fast, frantic, and offer some nice little bursts of fun serotonin you can earn some coins in. Puzzles are also another small fun thing to do, not even taking a minute to complete, but it's these little extras that are in the game that let me know that there was more thought put into it outside of just the story and the main gameplay, which I want to reiterate is so unique. I legit love how you have to use a mixture of all the abilities to make your way through the game. They never felt like an afterthought or this thing that I could use. They were mandatory if you want to find every Toad, take out the enemies and bosses, as well as solve all the platforming based puzzles. I feel like because of the marketing, some people would look at the emotion and vibe stuff as this way of it being there because the main character's a girl, because you play as Peach, and they want to push this game towards that demographic, which I feel when you actually do play the game and understand the story, Peach is this strong character who's in control of these emotional powers you get. But it's because of the whole land being affected by this specific magic that we deal with emotions in the first place, and we're just using them to boost our gameplay, not just because you're a girl or the princess. And plus, it's literally just such a chill game. I have no bad thoughts about life when playing it. Any demographic can play, as it has the similarities to Mario where it's simple enough to pick up and play and learn, but has an aesthetic that doesn't make you feel stressed out when progressing further into what would or should be harder areas. Sure, maybe the game should be a lot harder, but I personally like playing through it as I have, and you can access more levels after beating the game and rebeating the bosses, finding more stuff to do, as it's just this gift that keeps on giving. It's a simple, straightforward game that offers you a different and colorful adventure and a new area in the Mario world. It's an easier experience that does like to hold your hand, but I never saw it as something trying to be more than both a new experience that anyone can get into, using it as a more relaxed experience, or an intro to the platforming genre for those wanting to get into it. It's competently made. The designs of the levels look great, and there is no possibility of getting lost or confused due to poor level structure. Just know what you're getting into when picking this game up to play, as yes, I do think it's worth your time to play through, but if you're looking for a traditional Mario game, that's not here. If you're looking for something to hone and test your platforming skills, that's not here. If you're looking for an enjoyable, smile-inducing game with a distinct, vivid look to it that features a bunch of characters you should already know from the Mario world, then hey, this game is all that and more. But how else was this game promoted by Nintendo? Why was this a one-and-done game when it sold well enough that it deserved to get a sequel, and at the bare minimum, live on beyond just the Nintendo DS platform? Let's take a look into that. First, there are some nice incentives to just beating the game as well as just other things to do, like finding and unlocking minigames like I mentioned and went through earlier, where you would be able to play as Toad instead of Peach. You can also see the glossary, you get a music room, but the bonus for completing the game is that you can now play through it with an item for purchase called the Endless Vibe, completely giving you unlimited access to your emotional powers, which is always a fun thing to see in the game. And Super Princess Peach would sell over 1 million copies in under under 2 years worldwide, receiving some pretty decent to high praise reviews for a venture so different than the norm from Nintendo. Their marketing campaign focused heavily on vibes, and from here on out, in certain outings, Peach would be more associated with the whole hearts and vibe system more and more. We see it in the manga called Super Mario-kun, that Peach has parry still, and is using her vibe powers, but did you know that they made a serialized manga called Peach no Daiboken in a Famitsu magazine? It would be essentially the same story following Peach with parry on her journey to rescue the bros, and that's just cool. But now, like I was saying, I really enjoyed this game. It just has, no pun intended, an incredible vibe that makes you just feel all cozy. It's not a hard game, but it's a relaxing palate cleanser, especially when all I've been playing recently is this, and this. Yeah, I need some colorful chillness in my life, okay? But I was wondering why these vibes felt so familiar, and then I noticed the developers of this game were Toze Software, the company behind the Starfy games, and that filled my heart with a nice little bit of joy. I think my biggest question is, why no sequel? Why isn't there another entry into this series, as the game sold well and had some fun, unique mechanics to it? We have series that follow Yoshi, Wario, Luigi, but why not Princess Peach? Sure, it is the closest in gameplay to the property it is a spin-off of, but it was still its own idea, never really feeling like a replacement for a Mario game. It was something all its own. We don't have to have a similar story either. Mario doesn't have to be captured. Peach can go on an adventure all on her own. Why not have Peach just by herself back at the castle, and due to some sort of magic, she has to, all in this special 2D nice art style, go through the painting portals on the walls as we revisit iconic levels from Super Mario 64 in a way we've never seen them before, completely reimagining it, and it excuses the need for Mario to even be there. I just feel that there is something here, as this game isn't that long, but I wish there was a lot more to do. I was left wanting more from whatever this series could have been, and I still hope that one day we can see this game live beyond the time that it did. But what do you think? Have you given this spin-off a chance? Were you a fan of how the game handled having Peach as the main character? Was it just too easy for you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I want to go see the Super Mario Bros. Movie now. Like and subscribe. Later.